if I suspect that, like many viewers, you want to skip the tips and techniques part and just want to start painting, that's fine. So I can show you how to paint the following. I can show you how to paint this one. I can show you how to paint something like this. Or I could show you how to paint something like this. However, like everything, you need to learn to walk before you can run. So I'm going to show you how to paint this one. Now, I know some of you watching this might not even have paints, and just the thought of looking at this and thinking, whoa, I'd like to have a go at that, then I'll try and explain about what to buy so that it's not too expensive after I've shown you how to do this. So this is going to be broken down into two sections. First of all, we need to fill in all the background with this orange yellowy. It's to represent a sunset. The sky up here and the water down here. So we'll paint that first. It then has to dry. That's the period I was talking about. There'll be a gap in between. And then I'll show you how to paint the boat and the hills or island in the distance. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm basically just going to mix up a big wash of orange and yellows. So I'm just going to swing round and let you see my palette here. So I do have an orange colour. If you don't have orange, you can mix red and yellow, will give you orange. I just want to speed this up for a minute to I'll show you about mixing colours later. So I just want a yellow now in here. So I've got a big flat brush here, this brush here, and I want to fill this in as quickly as possible. Right, you'll see that I've got two large, what we call washes of paint, and I'm going to just crack in and fill the whole paper up, top to bottom, in one quick go. So here we are, deep breath and on we go. And just do this in one go. Don't stop and look a bit, linger about, and you have to do this very quickly, as you'll see. So now I want to try and introduce some of the yellow. I'm just going to mix it all in there. Just let this blend together. Cardinal error here, I might be running out of paint, but I'll keep going. It's getting a bit thin, but right, I think we'll manage. Back to the orange. Now, I'm looking at this, I said this would be 5 minutes. I think it's about, lucky if it's a minute. So there we go. That's all you have to do. And put the brush down and you're ready. What I'm going to do is, I don't know if you noticed, but this board is on a bit of an angle. I'm going to just lay it flat now to let it dry. You should always try and paint on an angle, but we'll tackle that later. So there's two options here. You can get a hairdryer and try and dry that, or you can go and have a coffee, and that's the option I'm taking. So I'll see you soon. So here we are. Paper looks dry. I'm just going to put my coffee cup down, check it with my finger. Yeah, it's fine and dry. So we can get on with painting the piece of island here, the boat, some reflections, and a bit of movement in the water, and that will be it. So, just a little tip. I've put my coffee cup down here. It's not the first time I've dipped my brush into the coffee cup, so just be careful if you're doing that. I'm actually going to set my mobile phone to 6 minutes, because I think that this first part only took about two minutes or so, 3 minutes, so I just want to try and make sure we get this done under the 10 minutes. So back to this again. I'm going to mix up a brown and add some greeny blue to that just to break it up a bit, so I'll quickly show you how to do that. Right, I'm just going to swing round, let you see. I've got some brown in the palette. Just going to make it a slightly darker brown, a colour called burnt umber, and swing round. And I'll put the island in about here. Right, so that'll do. This is just going to be very quick and loose style. And just get a little bit more paint. I'll just zoom in a bit and let you see this. Right, so that will do for the shape of the island. We're going to, as I mentioned, just fling a bit of bluish colour in here just to give it a bit more texture and variety. Now that's wet and it's just all fusing in there quite nicely. Right, another drink of coffee, I think. So I'm going to tackle the boat now, which is here. And I'll just go straight in and paint this, and I'll hopefully explain later on in some of the other videos how to do it in a bit more detail. Right, so I'm going to make the boat. I'm going to keep some of that nice turquoisey blue colour, just mixing it up just now, and I'll get back round and paint the boat. So I'm going to put the boat in about here. So we'll start off with, and like so. I'm just going to come round a bit. And a bit here. I'm almost drawing this with the brush. Right, that'll do. So we want to get one side filled in with a nice light turquoisey colour. And I'm just going to make the other side here slightly darker. It'll be in the shade a bit. Is it too dark? Oh, that's not bad. So, that's quite good. Just going to make it a bit taller. It just doesn't look quite. That's better. That's better. Right, what we need to do now is put some reflections in the water. So I'm just going to zoom out a bit and let you see this. So I'm going to just race through this. A few minutes left. Right, so a reflection, I'm just going to come down here and out there a bit. There we are. would do. Just going to make it slightly darker at the bottom of the boat, because it helps to suggest it's in the water, not sitting on top of the water. That's better. And that's about it. I'm going to put a couple of squiggles in here for movement in the water, and I'm going to have a rope down here to anchor the boat. And I think that would about do. I'll just check, there's some bits of reflection I forgot to put in up here. That'll do. I have a little bit more up here. And that'll do. Right, that's within the 5 minutes, so it's not too bad. The problem with watercolour painting is you don't know when to put the brush down, and I'm going to fill in one or two little bits here. I just feel it's calling out for some birds, so I'm going to put a little bit up here with a bird. That'll do. And just add a little bit more detail to the boat. Right, so here's the finished painting. Just what we started off to do. You hopefully will have a go at that and manage it. Those sharp-eyed people will have noticed that this is slightly different from this. The rope was at the back of this painting, and when I did that, you'll notice it's in the front here. I was doing a painting demonstration once, and somebody, when I put the ropes in at the back, somebody pointed out to me, you don't tie your boats up. I've got a boat and you tie them up at the front. So ever since then I've just remembered that gentleman who kindly reminded me that you tie your boats up at the front. Just a small point, but I just want to keep right. So I'm just going to take the paper off the tape here. I'm going to take it off and let you see your 10-minute painting. There we go. I always like this part of painting, when I'm finished a painting that's taped to the board. If you take the tape off, you're left with this lovely frame around your painting. So I'm just going to zoom out a bit to let you see this. There we are. I would just say that if you don't, you'll notice I have a board here. If you don't have a board like such, a kitchen tray would be fine. Just turn it over and tape the paper to your tray. That would do you fine. I also just want to talk again about materials. Now I realise some people watching this might not have any paints, so what I've done is I've just got a little sheet here that's some of the materials that you would need. There's two situations here. If you are just painting as a sort of fun exercise, that's great. If you want to get a bit more serious and you're thinking about this as a longer term hobby, then that's a different kettle of fish. So what I've said is if you just take a little note of this, you shouldn't spend much more than £25 in total. You could get tubes of paints. You could go online, get reasonable amount of paint with tubes, or even the little pans, the boxes, for £7. You could get brushes. These are student brushes, they're not expensive. You could get 3 of them for about £6 or £7. You could get a pad of paper, like so. This is a pad. This is slightly more expensive, this one, but you can get pads of paper for about £8, a plastic palette for about £4, and you're looking at a total of £25.